Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered if we're alone in the universe? With billions of stars in our galaxy alone, the math suggests that extraterrestrial life should be common. Intelligent civilizations, almost inevitable. But then, why hasn't anyone answered back? This simple question has profound implications. In 1950, during lunch at Los Alamos National Laboratory, physicist Enrico Fermi asked exactly this question that still haunts the scientific community. Where is everyone? He had calculated that even with conservative estimates, our galaxy should be teeming with intelligent civilizations. 75 years later, with billions of dollars invested in radio telescopes and detection algorithms, we still haven't received a single response. To understand the magnitude of this silence, you first need to grasp the scale of what we're searching for. Ever felt small looking up at the sky? It's not just a feeling, it's a mathematical fact. What we can see with the naked eye represents a tiny fraction of the Milky Way. Our galaxy has up to 400 billion stars, and the observable universe houses about 2 trillion galaxies. It's almost impossible not to get lost in this vastness, like an ant trying to understand an infinite library. Each star can have planets orbiting around it, many of them with Earth-like characteristics. The Kepler telescope revealed that between 20 and 50% of Sun-like stars could harbor planets in the habitable zone. Frank Drake, in 1961, created the most famous equation in astrobiology to structure our ignorance intelligently. Estimates vary drastically, from just a few to 100 million civilizations in the Milky Way alone. With tens of billions of potentially habitable worlds just in our galaxy, a doubt arises that troubles even the most skeptical scientists. If the cosmos is so full of possibilities, why does everything seem so quiet? This is where the grandeur of the universe meets the mystery of silence. How is it that no one has waved back so far? Not a message, not a cosmic wave, not even a simple, "We're here." The Fermi Paradox emerges like an open wound in our curiosity. A universe overflowing with stellar energy, full of Earth-like planets, but apparently empty. Or are we just not paying attention properly? Since 1985, the SETI Institute has been scanning the skies with giant radio telescopes, processing trillions of signals in search of artificial patterns. The Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia monitors thousands of stellar systems simultaneously. In 2024, the PanoSETI project became the first telescope network dedicated exclusively to detecting rapid light signals of extraterrestrial origin. With increasingly sophisticated detection algorithms, they scour the skies searching for patterns, messages, anything that might suggest interstellar communication. They analyze everything from regular radio pulses to anomalous energy bursts. And the result, after decades of meticulous searching? No clearly artificial transmissions intercepted, just the cosmic background noise and our own hopes echoing in the void. Carl Sagan, pioneer of the search for extraterrestrial life, once said that 2 possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. But there's a third option that Sagan didn't consider. Maybe they're here, and we simply can't see them. This possibility leads us to an even deeper question. If advanced civilizations exist, how advanced could they be? Think with me. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Earth? Only 4.5 billion. What would an intelligent civilization do with billions of years of advantage? The answer might be everything we can imagine, and much more. It's at this point that the provocative Kardashev scale comes in, which measures the level of a civilization by the mastery it has over energy. In 1964, Nikolai Kardashev proposed classifying civilizations by energy control. A Type 1 civilization controls all planetary energy: volcanoes, oceans, winds, sunlight, everything under control. In Type 2, the leap is colossal. It begins to capture all the energy from its star, perhaps with orbital megastructures like Dyson spheres. Type 3? This level borders on the incomprehensible. Civilizations that control the energy of an entire galaxy. We're still Type 0. We can't even fully harness the energy available right here on our own planet. Now think about the abyss between us and them. What would we do if an ant tried to send us signals? We might not even notice. In 2024, the Hephaestos project identified 7 candidates with anomalous infrared radiation, possible megastructures orbiting red dwarfs. Maybe these advanced civilizations are out there, traveling between stars, creating new forms of life, or testing limits we can't even imagine, and we, down here, are still trying to tune into a message that never comes. Or is there something preventing everyone from getting that far? Here enters one of the most unsettling ideas in modern science: the Great Filter. Robin Hansen formulated this disturbing theory. Imagine that there exists an invisible evolutionary barrier, an almost insurmountable obstacle that prevents most species from reaching interstellar civilization status. This filter could be behind us, which would make complex life an almost miraculous rarity in the cosmos. Or it could be right in front of us, like an abyss waiting to swallow any species that dares to advance too far. If the filter is in the past, this makes us a cosmic exception. It means we've passed through something that most habitable worlds can't overcome. Perhaps the emergence of life itself, the transition to multicellular organisms, the development of intelligence, or even the capacity for large-scale cooperation. Researchers like Robert Stern and Taras Garia recently proposed that active tectonic plates might be the real filter, a rare geological process that stabilizes climate for billions of years. But if the filter is in the future, in that case, all the advanced civilizations that once tried to go far were simply erased by nuclear wars, irreversible climate collapses, artificially created pandemics, or technologies that got out of control. Artificial intelligence that turned against its creators, experiments gone wrong, or attempts to manipulate the fundamental laws of physics. The most provocative thing is that maybe the silence in the universe isn't a mystery, but a warning. No signals coming from outside, no interstellar communication from Type 2 or 3 civilizations, nothing but empty echoes. Maybe everyone tried and failed. Maybe the cosmos is full of invisible tombstones, remains of civilizations that came close to technological transcendence and disappeared. But there's still another equally fascinating possibility. What if the problem isn't the absence of signals, but our total inability to understand them? This hypothesis is as uncomfortable as it is plausible. Imagine that much older and more evolved intelligent civilizations are communicating all the time, but in frequencies, formats, or levels of reality that we simply can't capture. To us, these transmissions would be like a podcast passing by while we try to listen with our ears plugged. Interstellar communication might be happening, and we're the only ones who don't know. It would be like a dog trying to understand an equation. It sees the numbers scribbled on the board, but that means nothing to it. For a Type 3 civilization, our radio telescopes would be as primitive as smoke drums. We're looking for letters in the mail in an age of quantum internet. Maybe we're the cosmic dogs, looking at the skies without understanding that there are messages, signals, or even manifestations of presence that go beyond our perception. If Type 2 or 3 civilizations use technologies based on extra dimensions, time manipulation, or structures outside conventional matter, then we are literally blind and deaf. This raises a crucial question. Is it possible to evolve enough to see this hidden layer of the universe? Maybe the leap isn't just technological, but also one of consciousness. While we struggle to survive our own inventions, these advanced civilizations may have already overcome wars, climate crises, and even the limits of biology. They're not hiding, we're just still invisible to the kind of radar they use. And this completely changes the game. Some modern critics of Drake's equation argue that several values are obtained by mere supposition. Ward and Brownlee, in their rare Earth hypothesis, argue that complex life requires an extraordinarily specific combination of factors: a rocky planet in the habitable zone, a stabilizing moon, active tectonic plates, a protective magnetic field, and a long-lasting star. Maybe we're much more special than we think. Maybe we're not the only ones, just the youngest. Like children looking at the night sky, thinking no one's there because we don't hear answers. But what if they're just watching? Intelligent civilizations, much older and more evolved, might prefer silence to interference. To them, our species might be a curious experiment, still crawling towards stellar energy, struggling to survive our own ego. It could also be that we're living through one of the most unique moments in the observable universe, the instant when life begins to awaken and look outward. A fragile point of existence where we don't see anyone, but we could be surrounded. Type 1, 2, or 3 civilizations might simply operate on another level, waiting for us to prove maturity before any approach. Our species still struggles with wars, environmental destruction, and weapons of mass extinction. Maybe the silence is a clear signal. You're not ready yet. Are we prepared for contact? Or haven't we passed the test yet? After decades of searching and reflection, one question remains. 75 years after Fermi's question, we continue alone with our doubts. Billions invested in detection technology, thousands of exoplanets catalogued, dozens of space missions, and the cosmos remains silent. But maybe the silence is temporary. Maybe we're just a few years, or decades, away from intercepting the first unmistakable signal of extraterrestrial intelligence. Or maybe we'll discover that complex life is so rare that we are, effectively, the first to awaken in our region of the universe. Deep down, what the Fermi Paradox reveals is more about us than about them. Our thirst for answers, our fear of loneliness, and our stubborn hope that we're not talking alone in the dark. If we're really being watched, maybe the first step isn't to search out there, but to evolve in here. Regardless of the answer, one thing is certain: the search has already transformed us. It has forced us to question our place in the cosmos, our responsibility as possibly the only known intelligent species, and our destiny among the stars. Because only those who understand their own place in the cosmos can, one day, be invited to explore the others. And now I ask you, what if the universe is indeed full of life, and we just haven't learned to listen yet? Are we ready for the next step in our evolution? Or are we too distracted by internal noise to notice the whispers of the cosmos? If this journey made you think even just a little, it was worth it. But it's far from over. There are many more mysteries lurking, waiting for someone curious enough to question and bold enough to seek. So, if you want to continue exploring the enigmas of existence, of the stars, and of consciousness itself, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, knowledge is just the beginning.